Thank you. And now I'm going to sing a song, and they're going to make a film of it at the same time. So if you see any flashing, don't take any notice, you see. All right, I'm going to sing a song called My Little Stick of Blackpool Rock. This being in Blackpool, we'll have it filmed as well. Every year when summer comes round, off to the sea I go. I don't care if I do spend £1. I'm rather rash, I know. See me dressed like all the sports, in me blazer and a pair of shorts, with me little stick of Blackpool Rock. Along the promenade I stroll. It may be sticky, but I never complain. It's nice to have a nibble at it now and again. Every day, wherever I stray, the kids all round me flock. One afternoon the band conductor up on the stand somehow lost his baton, it flew out of his hand. So I jumped in his place and then conducted the band with me little stick of Blackpool Rock. With me little stick of Blackpool Rock. Along the promenade I strolled. In the ballroom I went dancing one night. No wonder every girl I danced with stuck to me tight. Every day, wherever I stray, the kids all round me flock. I had my photo taken once, it cost 1 and 3. I said when it was done, is that supposed to be me? You probably mucked it up, the only thing I can see is my little stick of Blackpool Rock. With my little stick of Blackpool Rock. Along the promenade I stroll. In my pocket it got stuck, I could tell, 'cause when I pulled it out, I pulled my shirt off as well. Every day, wherever I stray, the kids all round me flock. A girl while bathing clung to me, I shouted out, oh. She said, I think I'm drowning and you'll save me, I know. I said, well, if you're drowning, do you mind letting go of me little stick of Blackpool Rock?
It's me, Paul Ross, on Talk Radio, and I've failed at lots of things in my life. Failed my Latin O-level, failed my physics O-level, and I've never successfully grown a beard. My son James has got a fantastic shovel-like beard. Me, I tried a good few years ago, maybe 25 years ago. Two things happened. It came out gingery, which was disconcerting, and I couldn't grow it on the filtrum, that little gap in your top lip. So it looked like it had been kind of daubed on with that fuzzy felt stuff. So I've been no good at an event that's just ended. An event I'd love to have seen. You've seen photographs of it all over the papers. It was the British Beard Moustache Championships. It was held in Blackpool, and I'm delighted to welcome to Talk Radio Brian Eva from the Sandgrown Beardsmen, who I understand are behind this fantastic event. Good morning, Brian, and thanks for doing this for us.
Good morning, sir.
And I take it, let's clear it up straight away, I take it I'm talking to a bearded Brian, is that right?
You are indeed.
How long since you've shaved?
4.5 years.
Whoa, that must be a big old mighty beard you're sporting at the moment.
Yes, it's 12 inches of thick, dense, ginger facial furniture.
Anything nesting in it? Any old stray bits of pork pie or anything you can snack on later?
No, just a bit of fried rice, I think, from earlier.
Tell us a bit about what happened at the weekend, because the photographs are absolutely astonishing. It almost looks like a beard and moustache sculpture event.
Yeah, I think a lot of the pictures are focused on the freestyle guys. So what happened was basically we had 21 categories of facial hair, whether that be beard, moustache. That included some creative categories, which allows the women and the children to get involved in the event as well. So yeah, people travelled from all over the world. 11 countries represented, came from as far as America, Germany, Norway, Holland, Spain, all around Europe. So it was fantastic.
Okay, and how long has this been running now?
The club of the Sandgrown Beardsmen has been running for 3 years, but the British Beard and Moustache Championships, this is the 4th event, so of its kind. So back in, I think, 2006.
And tell us a bit about the Sandgrown Beardsmen. What's that all about?
Basically, it's the Sandgrown Beardsmen. It's the Blackpool Beard and Moustache Club. I started that randomly about 3.5 years ago, and we just meet monthly. A group of guys, we meet in a barber shop in Blackpool. We just rock up, have a few beers, raise money for charity. As like yesterday, we support a charity, Street Life, which supports youth homelessness in our town. So every penny we make, we donate to them, and the guys just come down, have a good time. We've made friendships, and we just meet up and just keep going.
Now, some people might think it's slightly ironic you're meeting in a barber shop, but I know from my son's beard experience, he quite often goes to the barbers and has it trimmed, and they oil his beard as well. Oil and balms. There's a lot of it goes on now. Guys are sort of taking care of the beards. So, especially for the skin, I think the oils make more for the skin underneath because it's not getting the moisture that it would normally get. So, but the barbershop, obviously, if you're growing a beard, your best friend is a barber. So how much maintenance does it take then, Brian? Because, I mean, you're packing a 12-incher. How often do you have to get it looked at?
Mine, I've just grown mine out natural. I maybe just get the odd sort of split end taken off, but other than that, I've just let mine go because I compete in the full natural beard moustache category, so I'm not in the style, so I don't need to maintain as much as some of the other guys.
What do you think lies behind the return of the beard? I mean, it's almost gone beyond being hip now. It's far more common. I mean, I'm working in the office at Talk Radio. There's lots of guys on Talk Sport, Talk Sport 2 and Virgin. I would say at least half of them now have a beard. 20 years ago, that simply would not have happened. It was basically the bloke who drank real ale and was into train spotting who had the beard. I don't really know what the start of it was, but I think there's a whole industry that's boomed behind it with the products and everything, and it has allowed, I think, it's more socially acceptable now, like tattoos and such like that. So I think there's no pressure for guys to shave and to be at work, or because it's not. I don't think it's considered scruffy now because the guys are so much more well groomed, I suppose, than what guys were 20 years ago. Now, there was an old Victorian saying that a kiss without a moustache was like an egg without salt. How do the ladies respond to your beard, Brian, or indeed the gentlemen?
Generally, it's quite a positive response that I get.
Okay.
as a rule.
And among your friends, are there people who've looked at your beard and over the past couple of years decided to go full beard as well themselves? I'm not saying it's catching. I mean, are there people who've said, you know what, it makes sense. I've always wanted to... See, I tried it once, partly because I was away filming for a long while, but my returns were a bit disappointing on the investment, really. It's patchy, ginger, and I couldn't grow it in the Filtrum.
I think, a couple of my friends have grown out, and grown a beard out. I made my dad grow a beard out for the championships on Sunday. So
really? How did the old fella get on?
Well, he didn't win, but his 9 months of growth was quite epic. So
9 months? Wow!
he entered the beard under 6-inch category, so he had to trim down to get into the 6-inch category, so he did well.
Now, many years ago, I went to Key West over in Florida, a beautiful part of the world. Right, you can see Cuba on a clear day from the end of it, and it's where Ernest Hemingway went when he left Cuba after the revolution, and every couple of months they have an Ernest Hemingway lookalike contest, a big tourist thing. Who are the bearded heroes, finally, Brian? I'd imagine, for example, Brian Blessed must be on your list. Because he's kept the faith with beards. I mean, he's kept the faith with a beard for I think he was born with a beard, wasn't he?
Well, I think he was. He seems to have been bearded for the whole of eternity. But I think somebody like Gareth Southgate at the World Cup this year, I think, has done services to beard. We've handed out an award that we're going to get delivered to Eddie Hall, the world's strongest man. Basically, our committee have called him, he's the whiskered Ubermensch. We're honouring his services to beard. But there's guys on the scene, the beard scene over in the States. We had a guy that came over to the competition on Saturday called Arne Bielefeld. So he's pretty much considered the granddaddy of competitive bearding. So for us to get, a guy who's really a legend on that scene, was amazing for us. So I love the fact
there's a competitive bearding scene. It'll have its own TV channel soon, won't it? Like WWE.
Yes, it should do. It needs it. That's what TV needs.
Now, you said the word Übermensch, which of course comes from Friedrich Wilhelm Nietzsche, like trying to Overman, Superman, and he had a fantastic moustache that kind of covered his mouth. I always thought he could have moonlit as a ventriloquist with it. Who was in the moustache-only category?
There was 4 categories of the moustache this time. So there was a handlebar moustache, English moustache, natural moustache, and freestyle moustache. So the natural moustache winner was a guy that had come from Holland called Marcel. He had a fantastic natural moustache. The overall best in show was a guy called Mark East, who won his category and overall with an amazing handlebar moustache. So
I'm looking at a photograph of a fascinating-looking bloke. He's in a waistcoat. He's got kind of almost like Native American tie thing around his neck called Norbert Topf.
Yeah,
who's got a kind of. He's got like a. It looks more like it's got like he's got a hairy octopus on his chin.
Yeah, he was he won the full beard freestyle category.
I bet he did. He's a belter. Look at the state. I'm going to try and tweet the picture of him later. It's a fantastic thing. How long were people spending preparing for this? I mean, were there special rooms, kind of curling and tong rooms, for people to go in and make themselves all kind of like Mr. Topf, exotic looking?
Well, the average freestyle guy will spend around about 4 hours styling.
Oh!
And so on the day, obviously, we were mindful for that. So the event, we had it in the Winter Gardens in the Empress Ballroom, so they had changing rooms. We were mindful that we had to set something aside for them, because them guys, they come out from the illness. It was a pretty windy day in Blackpool as well, so they had to come in and retweak their creations.
I've just remembered a line from an Alan Ayckbourn play when one of the characters says, "Oh, a beard's a great comfort to a man with no children," and I'm stroking my slightly stubbly chin at the moment. Do you find yourself using the beard as an aid to thought, to contemplation, Brian, finally, to meditation?
No.
Oh, I'd love to. I like the idea of somebody just stroking the beard the way they do in like Victorian melodramas.
No, I understand what you're saying. I do know what you mean. I probably just twizzle it now because it's got so long.
So you've been a great sport, Brian. So you're doing it all again next year, we hope?
No, it's a biannual event.
Okay, wow. I'm glad we got you this morning, and that's fantastic stuff. And are they held elsewhere in the world?
Yes, well, next year is the World Championships, which is held in Antwerp.
Right.
And then, we work on opposite years. So what will happen is that somebody will put in a bid to host the next British Championship, so we'll pass the torch on to somebody else.
Listen, you've been a great sport, great fun. The Sandgrown Beardsmen, and that was Brian Eva. Have you got your own? Is there a website for the Sandgrown Beardsmen if anybody local wants to pop along?
Yeah, we've got Facebook and Instagram, so if you just search Sandgrown, it's Sandgrown, Beardsmen, so that's Blackpool Beard and Moustache Club. We've got all social media. We do have Sandgrown Beardsmen website, I think it's sandgrownbeardsmen.uk. So if anybody wants any more information about what we do, please just go over there and take a look.
Now, we do live in an era of increased equality, in gender fluidity. Are bearded women welcome?
Yes, they are. I competed against a bearded lady at the World Championships.
And did she beat you?
She did.
Wow, how big was her beard? You've got a 12-incher. What was she sprouting?
I don't know how big she was, but... she competed in the beard under 12-inch category. That was out in Austin, Texas last year.
Fair play to her.
A lady called Rose Giles. She has the condition of polycystic ovaries.
And she's making the most of it, which is fair enough.
And obviously the creative and handmade categories that we do allow the women to come in and, make fake beards. My son won the under-16s Creative British Challenge.
Hang on. Well. With a fake beard?
Yes, he won with the fake beard. We made him a dinosaur beard. He's dinosaur obsessed. So my 4.5-year-old son is now a British champion.
Start them young. That's the way to do it.
Yes, that's the way.
Brian, you've been a great sport. Have a great week, man. I hope we get to talk again. Thank you very much indeed. Brian Eva there from the Sandgrown Beardsmen, telling us all about the British Beard Moustache Championships in Blackpool. You've missed it, I'm afraid. Antwerp next year. And you heard about it here on Talk Radio. Time for a shave.